We've been here before. Back in 2001, Jaguar took on the BMW 3 Series with the X-Type, a decent enough car, but it barely put a dent in BMW's domination of the compact executive market. 14 years later, and Jaguar is back for another tilt at the title. The new XE is a serious contender with lightweight aluminium construction, low emissions, and superb handling. Is that enough to beat the BMW 3 Series?
The XE has novelty on its side, not to mention the most fuel-efficient version of Jaguar's new Ingenium family of engines. The 6-speed manual 2-litre i4 e-Performance emits as little as 99 grams a kilometre of CO2, rising to 106 grams a kilometre with an auto box. We're testing it against the pick of the 3 Series lineup for business users, the 320D ED, short for Efficient Dynamics. The Jaguar certainly won't have everything its own way, not least because the 3 Series has been updated. New front and rear bumpers and revised headlights mark a subtle refresh to the car's looks, but there have been more significant changes under the skin. A revised engine lineup has pushed down emissions, while the various suspension setups have been reworked in a bid to stop the new Jag unseating the 3 Series as the keen driver's choice. The BMW certainly lives up to the efficient part of its name, dipping under the 100 grams a kilometre barrier if you choose the 8-speed automatic with 16-inch alloy wheels. The manual car emits from 102 grams a kilometre and so sits 1 BIK band higher than the auto. We've been driving an R Sport manual Jag and a plus spec automatic BMW, but for a fair comparison we've looked at the running costs of the Prestige manual XE and the Plus manual 3 Series. The BMW has the lower P11D value by around £300, but the Jaguar sits one tax band beneath the BMW thanks to its slightly better emissions. That's enough to save a higher rate taxpayer £9 a month if they choose the Jaguar. In terms of other running costs, the two cars are closely matched. According to Quick Car Cost, the BMW has lower SMR and finance bills, but the Jaguar will be cheaper to fuel and insure. The one area where there's clear daylight between the two, though, is depreciation. Perhaps a victim of its own success, the BMW is predicted to be worth 32.8% of the original price after 3 years. The Jaguar will retain 41.5%. That's enough for a cost per mile difference of around 5 pence in the XE's favour. In many other respects, there's not a lot to choose between these two. The BMW has slightly more overtaking punch, and by a small margin it has the Jaguar's measure for refinement. The 2-litre diesel engine in the 3 Series may not be whisper quiet, but the new Ingenium diesel in the Jaguar can be surprisingly noisy. Both cars are quiet enough at motorway speeds, although both generate considerable road noise over coarse surfaces. It's when you turn off main roads that the BMW and Jag start to feel special. From generation to generation, the 3 Series has consistently been the sportiest compact executive. The latest car corners flat and hard, and the optional adaptive M Sport suspension allows the driver to sharpen things up further. It grips strongly and feels well balanced. However, the optional Servotronic steering feels surprisingly numb and inconsistently weighted. The XE steers with a fluidity and feel the 3 Series can't match. On the sport suspension fitted to R Sport cars, the Jaguar is simply more fun to drive than the BMW. The ride is on the firm side though. Cars we've driven on standard springs and dampers are more supple. So, from the driver's seat, the Jaguar takes a narrow but definite lead over the BMW. The driving position itself is comfortable and supportive, and the dashboard is modern, uncluttered and well made. As with most modern prestige cars, the dashboard is dominated by the touchscreen. It's easy enough to use. Rear seat space is tight though. Adults will be short of head and legroom. Boot space is also limited. The BMW feels at least as well screwed together as the Jaguar, and the cabin has definitely been improved by the recent facelift. The gloss black centre console gives the dash a sophisticated look, and the high-mounted screen is easy to look at without taking your eyes far from the road. It's controlled through BMW's familiar iDrive controller. The system takes a little learning, but it's straightforward enough once you're used to it. Rear legroom isn't especially generous, but there's certainly more space in the back of the BMW than there is in the Jaguar. The BMW also has more room for bags.
BMW has been very thorough with its midlife update for the 3 Series. With improved interior quality and low emissions, it remains one of the very best compact execs. But the Jaguar XE is better. It may be less practical than the 3 Series, but it beats the BMW at its own game, taking over as the keen driver's choice. What's more, it's cheaper to run, both for drivers and for businesses. The XE is a worthy winner.